there guys, Core Sonic 23 from Anime Core, and today I wanted to discuss something about relating to PlayStation. Well, mostly talking about the current role of Jim Ryan and how the whole thing with PS Now and other stuff. Now, what made me want to do this video is last night I was pretty much playing Persona 5. I have a emulator actually installed, so I'm actually playing it on my PC. I'm not playing it on PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3. I'm actually playing it on PC, which I'm actually running an emulator for. So there was a moment talking about the whole thing. I think it was like right after you complete like the second palace and such, and it got me thinking a lot about what's been currently happening in the gaming space. Now, I understand that like a lot of people love the idea of paying a subscription just to play games. The problem is with that logic is that like it's like Netflix, okay? Some of the games that PlayStation or Microsoft will pretty much bring over will eventually be gone, okay? Now, I've tried Game Pass. I've dabbled with Game Pass a little bit, okay? I tried it for maybe for a good month or two, but then after realizing it, I kind of like decided to stop, and it's because like I never really like considered about using it. I never found it really interesting or appealing. Now, to you, who is probably sitting, who's either probably, sitting on your break or sitting at your desk, or maybe, you're on your bed and you're watching this through the YouTube TV app or whatever, you'll probably understand this idea here that, I mean, yes, at first, paying $15 a month just for Game Pass and then playing any game, it's a good deal in the short term, but long term, it kind of just feels like I'm not really getting much value. Now, when I was looking at, when I was thinking about the whole thing, is that there's a reason like why I'm not really much of a supporter for PlayStation, and the reason for it is because of Jim Ryan's leadership. Now, I never really cared much for Jim Ryan, okay? I never really cared for the guy. I honestly think that the only thing he really cares about is just sales, okay? He doesn't care about the consumer. He doesn't really care much for backwards compatibility. Now, if Sean Layden were still in charge, that would be a totally different story, because at least Sean Layden would be saying, no, I think it'd be great if we had the PlayStation 5 be backwards compatible, because that way gamers who are fans of PlayStation, can actually enjoy playing some of the older games that were on our past gen systems, whether it be like from PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and maybe something from the PlayStation 2 era. Now, honestly, no, I understand that currently what's happening here around the gaming space is that Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony really are kind of like, Nintendo's pretty much being somewhat of a demonic, evil company that doesn't really want to like consider about keeping older gen games alive. They kind of think, it's in their mind they're thinking, okay, it's current year, everybody should be playing our current gen games. Why should we care about, preserving older games? Why? Explain that to me. Well, there are several different reasons. Some of us grew in the 1990s. Some of us grew up in the early days of maybe around 18. Yeah, some grew up in around 1990s and maybe 1980s and the early 2000s. And yeah, and playing older games is actually fun. And it would also give some really cool, awesome experiences for the new, younger generation. Okay, I grew up around the early 1990s. I grew up in 1992. And I remember, you know, playing on the N64, NES, Dreamcast, let me see, yeah, the PlayStation 2. Now, I never really actually got PlayStation 3 because I didn't, at the time, I didn't really very much, like, I guess, didn't really care much for the 360, but I definitely know my older brothers actually enjoyed them. But I really just enjoyed playing just on the PlayStation 2, and it was fun. I mean, I remember playing games like Guitar Hero, Guitar Hero 3, let's see, what else do I remember playing? I remember playing Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi. Like, the Tenkaichi series were pretty good. I actually enjoyed the first two of the Tenkaichi. That was actually really fun. Although if I were to put a ranking for them, I have to say probably Tenkaichi 2 is number 1, Tenkaichi is number 3, and I think the first Tenkaichi is number 2. So that's my order. And even like the older, the Dragon Ball Z Budokai games were also fun too. I remember I had a childhood friend. I mean, we met up in middle school, and I remember we would always like end up playing Dragon Ball Z Budokai. That was a lot of fun. And honestly, I think keeping some of the older gen games from the past is a, you know, keeping those games around is awesome. But the way how currently, like, with everything that's happening, including like Jim Ryan's leadership, it's just terrible. I mean, I saw like the current prices for like this whole for PlayStation's like, you know, their Game Pass like subscription service, and I'm not actually liking it. Plus, they're pretty much like getting rid of the old one, and I'm like, just pay like just a membership fee, and then you gain access to a lot of the cool, awesome games. And I think you can also get somewhat of a discount as well for some of those games as well if you have a PlayStation membership. But now it's like, since they're getting rid of it, it's like, why would you do that? Literally. And some of the PS3 games, or most of the PS3 games, you can only stream. You don't actually get to own them digitally. And to me, I'm like, why can't you just keep those games digitally? Because, I mean, allow you to play them digitally without streaming them. Because, you know, if you think about it, I mean, there are currently emulators out there. I mean, yeah, I mean, I understand, you know, currently in the gaming space, mostly, I understand that, like, you know, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft are pretty much going the route of subscription base, and, you know, because they think, you know, it's a much more better idea to pretty much get money from the consumers, and it's a little bit much more better idea. And I know, like, you know, to the core gaming folks, yeah, it's a good deal because you only have to pay like $15 a month, and then you gain access to the games, and then you can just basically download them and pretty much play it. Not to mention, like, with the cloud system, you also have, you know, you can play, you know, your Game Pass games on the go as well, thanks to that. But honestly, I just feel that just paying individual games, like, because they're, okay, let's look at Steam for example, okay? If you look at Steam, okay, there are always sales. There's literally sales every single week, okay? No matter what game it is, okay? Now, when there's newer games that come out recently, they're not on sale immediately, but the games that have been around for like longer than 6 months, they're always on sale. Like, literally, I mean, think about it. You have the let's see, you have the summer sale, which is like pretty much like the biggest sale because it's, I think it's like a month worth of sales, so you can get those games. And then I know, like, for the fall one, it's basically, I think, like a couple weeks or so, and then I know that there's a winter sale over on Steam. So yeah, so Steam has a lot of really good, awesome sales, and it's not just Steam, but you also have like other places like GOG. I'm not sure about EA Origin. I don't think you have that. And if you also go onto like Greenman Gaming's website, there's also some really great games that you can also buy there as well. And I'm sorry if there's gonna be some noise in the background. Anyways, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, honestly, paying a subscription service, I just don't care for it. I really just don't care. I would rather pay for games individually, so that way I own them. Because when you pay a subscription fee, you don't really own the game. Microsoft does. You don't get to own the game at all. I mean, and hell, like, you know, when you go shopping at like a retail place like Target, you get to keep a copy of the physical game. Not to mention, you know, some games that you pre-order and you get them on the midnight release, they also come with some cool, awesome trinkets. Seriously. So, there you go. Honestly, at the end of the day, gaming subscription is not for me, and honestly, I don't really care much for Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan, to me, all he cares about is sales and money. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about the consumer. He doesn't care about anything, okay? Okay, the younger, like, around during the PS4 era, you had, like, Sean Layden, you had Shuhei Yoshida, Adam Boyce, Andrew House. Those guys were amazing. And granted, yes, some of the stuff that, you know, some of their ideas that they came up with weren't probably ideal to every single, you know, fan-loving gamer, but at least they did their best. And not to mention that they brought over a cool, awesome adventure called the PlayStation Experience, which literally no one around in the current gaming space talks about. They literally don't talk about that. Have you noticed that? Like, they don't even talk about the PlayStation Experience, because I remember going to the PlayStation Experience out in the Boston West Center in San Francisco. It was amazing. It was actually fun. It was, I had a fun time. I mean, I still remember playing some of the cool, awesome games, and, you know, you got to sit, watch the panel, and, I mean, you got to watch the keynote speech, and then you got to, you know, listen in on a whole bunch of stuff. Not to mention, there was like one guy, I remember at the PlayStation Experience, that he actually got a free PlayStation Vita. Now, granted, yes, the PlayStation Vita doesn't have, like, it was an interesting handheld for its time, okay? It was a really interesting handheld for its time. It didn't, you know, I understand that, like, you know, the memory cards were a bit expensive, and I honestly think that PlayStation could have done a much more better idea of, like, maybe making it a little cheaper, honestly, for the modern day gamer. But other than that, it was a cool, interesting console. I mean, I had one, even though the only game I remember playing on it a little bit was Jak and Daxter. I didn't really play much of the older games because I was more interested in just playing on console at the time. So now that we're now in this era, we have the Nintendo Switch, and we also have the Steam Deck, which I'm probably gonna be getting the Steam Deck probably between July and September, so there you go. Other than that, that's all I wanted to just leave you guys with. So if you guys like this video, definitely give it a like, comment down below, share with others, and of course, follow me on social media, and you can also join my Discord server. All the links to those are in the description, alright? I'll probably have a Let's Play up tomorrow as well, and probably one other video. I've decided to just stick around with just making 2 videos per day, because I can't make 3 videos because it's just a lot out of me, not to mention I'm kind of a little bit busy with, like, work and stuff, so that's all I will leave you guys with, alright? So, with that, I'd end things off here. This is Coruscant 23 from Anime Core, and I'll see you guys next time. See you.